Shut up and sit down.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the She's Crafty podcast. I'm your host, Catherine Contreras, and we are at Hops and Grain Brewing in Austin, Texas, you guys. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me, first of all, Josh and Sheila. We have Hudson here as well from Willow Speak, which is so awesome. I just got back from Portland, and I loved Portland, but I love being home too. I was there for like a week, and then I was like, I cannot wait to get back to tacos.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're hard to leave.
Yeah, yeah.
Tacos that don't have random items in them.
Yes, like everything was, all I wanted to do was eat because I'm pregnant, so I can't really like get down on all the drinking. But I was like, somebody just give me a map of like everywhere I can eat, and I'm just going to eat my way through Portland this whole time.
There you go.
Yeah, but we had the best time, and thank you so much to Listen Up Portland for having us there. And we made so many new friends, and I met a guy that does a weed podcast, and he was high. He was so high, obviously, the whole time. But we had like this one day where we had to make crafts, and he just couldn't do it. He had to restart like 7 times, and I was like, this is the best day ever.
His creativity was high.
Yeah, he just kept like misspelling things, and like he had to start over, and I was like, man, don't even worry about it. You're totally fine. You got this. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start with my favorite segment, which is someone get them a fucking beer. And I'm super fascinated with this new Netflix documentary that I just stumbled upon about flat earthers. Okay. So apparently there's like a whole, maybe even thousands of people out there that believe that the earth is flat and not round. And then they have all this weird airplane proof. Right? So like videos from airplanes where they're like, look at the horizon. It's not round. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you realize how big the earth is? Yeah. Like, what do you mean? It's totally crazy to me. Totally crazy.
Yeah, it's on the to-do list to watch that one.
It's so good. It's so fascinating, and it's terrifying at the same time because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is real. People really, really believe this. And then they're like, do you have any like actual scientists that come to your gatherings? They're like, no, well, you know, real scientists couldn't say that they're flat earthers. And I'm like, they're not. That's why.
Right. You have your answer.
Yeah. What about educators? No. Well, of course not. Because you're all fucking idiots. Sorry, flat earthers, but I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why it's happening. I'm worried my kids are going to stumble upon it.
And believe it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. Luckily, we don't have a lot of exposure to the internet in my house, so I'm hoping that they just kind of, you know what I mean?
Right.
My daughter's 17. She'll be going off to college soon, and I'm like, just don't talk to anybody. Anybody that says anything that's a little bit weird, let's just not engage in that at all.
I mean, what's their position on the sunrise and sunset? Is that just
They don't answer those kinds of questions,
okay.
Josh.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
The sun goes down and then it disappears.
They're not
going to
answer that.
It gets
Yeah,
back in
that's
place
not.
to come back up.
That's not. The moon is round.
Oh.
Okay. Well, clearly you can see that.
Yeah.
But
So
when
they
did you
believe
last
that.
take a cross-country trip? You didn't drive off the edge of anything, so I mean,
They're
clearly
not.
it's flat.
It's flat because when they look in front of them,
Right.
all they
The
see is
horizon's
flat Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's totally nuts. Have you seen that documentary, Hudson? No, you need to check it out.
Probably believe that the Earth is the center of the universe too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So basically, what they think is it's just like one flat plane, and then there's a dome over us.
Oh. Okay.
Kind of like, what do they call those things that like you eat, like when they show you your food and it's got like that dome?
I
That's
was
what
about to say, remember the movie Biodome?
Yes, that's what they think. Well, one guy compared it to what's that Jim Carrey movie? The Truman Show.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what's happening now. That's it. It's the Truman Show.
Right.
Yeah, they're just yeah. I mean, I just for my own ego want to believe that everybody is watching me all day. You know what I mean? Like everybody gives a shit about what I'm doing, for sure.
Certain moments, maybe.
Yeah.
Like to leave out.
Yeah. This morning, I accidentally hit a teacher's car in the parking lot dropping my
Uh-oh.
kids off to school. I
Uh-oh.
just got a minivan, which I had held out for so long, but I have a lot of fucking kids, okay? And like we can't all fit in that Jetta forever. So we finally broke down and got me a minivan, and I still am not used to, it's like a bus. It's so huge. And I didn't even realize there was a car on this side of me. And I pulled out to the right, and I just heard, and I was like, oh, man.
Nails on a chalkboard.
This is so weird. And then I had to get my baby out of the car, and then I realized it was a teacher, and I was like, I'm not drunk, I promise. Yikes. I'm so sorry. Whoopsie.
Breaking in that new van.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know. I texted my husband, and he was like, oh, cool.
Awesome.
First right out of the gate already.
Is it equipped with those backup cameras?
It does, but I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't have a
Didn't
side
work.
camera, which
Gotcha.
I feel like I need to write a heavily worded letter.
Yes.
Right.
Just be like, can we just get a camera on the side?
Right. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I could have killed somebody, and it wouldn't have been my
Right.
fault.
Yeah.
Would have been Toyota's
Can't
fault.
see through the door.
I can't see through the door. That's right. Why is it so huge? It's like a condo in there. It's crazy. My kids love it, but I'm like, this thing is huge.
For rent, I'll take it.
Okay, I'm so sorry. How embarrassing is that?
Welcome.
Hey, bitch, clear out your memory.
Embarrassing is
Yeah, yeah. This is what happens when you let Catherine do anything by herself. Okay, so we're here at Hops and Grain. Let's talk about these beers that we have in front of us. What do we have on this beautiful flight here?
We've got a good spread of kind of what we like to make around here, which are lagers and hop-forward beers.
Okay.
Starting with the lightest, at least on body and kind of mouthfeel, is going to be our river beer, which
Okay.
is somewhat of an homage to the adjunct lagers of yesteryear. Beers like Coors Original, which has always been one of my favorites, and then some of those other classics like Rainier and Olympia, and
Yeah.
just really great American-style premium lagers.
Yeah.
So yeah, made for the river, made for the back porch, made for
I love it.
mowing the yard, you name it.
I think most people have probably experienced this beer. You know, if you're in Texas or San Antonio Hill Country, Austin area, it's pretty delicious. Do you want to? I don't have herpes or anything. I don't know if you want to share with me, Hudson. I don't want. I have a clean mouth. I promise. I'm not gonna. You can finish those off for me. Okay.
But yeah, colder the better on that beer. Fantastic.
Yeah.
We don't often recommend, icing a glass by any means, but if you find
Okay.
yourself around like a 32-ounce mug that you want to freeze and pour some river
Oh,
beer
okay,
in,
nice.
it's
Yeah.
a real treat of an experience.
Exciting. You know, Josh, I don't know if you know this about yourself, but you're a little bit of a celebrity in the
Uh-oh.
beer community. Do you know that?
Oh, okay.
Are you comfortable with that
Yeah,
title?
celebrity, definitely not comfortable
No?
with that. No.
Because like
Not at all.
everybody that I told that I was coming to, they were like, "Oh, that's a big get," and I was like, "Bitches, I know, I know." But like that's gotta feel good, right?
I'm glad people like our beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Be humble. It's fine. Okay.
Keeps us in business.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next one.
All right, so next is going to be our flagship, most popular beer that we make. Of the beers on this board, it has definitely been the one that I think we're most known for. The one they call Zoe. It's our pale lager. Again, super nice, super easy, very approachable. Kind of, the beer of Austin is what we kind of like to talk about with that beer. We hope that it's a beer that when friends, have folks from out of town that are visiting, and they want to show them a little bit of what Austin is about.
Yeah.
We hope Zoe's in their fridge and one of those to
delicious.
show them. It's named after my dog. My wife and I have a Papillon, all of
Oh,
8
cute.
pounds,
Yeah, I like it.
rambunctious. But we kind of like to think that, and when we were going through the naming for this beer, that it's incredibly approachable. We call it affable.
Yeah.
It's there. It's always, it's always around for a good time. It's never going to yell at you. Never going to
Yeah.
be upset. It's consistent. Loves to be entertained and hung out with, just like Zoe the dog.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And
Do you
again,
want to talk?
I
go
just
ahead.
like to clarify because people
Yeah, yeah.
often ask, like, is it Zoe or is it Zoe?
Oh yeah.
Heard it from the founder.
It's Zoe.
It
with
is
an E at
Zoe.
the end.
Zoe, don't you dare call
Yeah.
that dog Zoe.
No,
She'll
I bet
turn,
that,
she'll
that
turn
makes
her
mad,
head,
right?
and that's the end of it. So.
Yeah, that's it. I get it.
All right, and then I'm going to jump to the one on the very far right, which is another
Okay.
one of our year-round beers,
Yeah.
and also probably, or not probably, but right behind Zoe in terms of percentage of sales.
Okay.
Pale Mosaic. So
I
this is
mean,
our 6%.
It's one of my favorites.
IPA.
Of like all time.
Oh, great. Well, we really appreciate that. And it's, a lot of what we like to talk about with the way that we make beers is we like to create products that pair well with the rest of the six-pack.
Okay.
We want these to be sessionable beers with lots of flavor, lots of character. And Pale Mosaic, I think, is a good representation of that. It's loaded with some of our favorite hop varieties, Mosaic being one of those,
Right.
some Citra, Simcoe, and a little bit of Nugget, which rounds out, a really nice kind of berry, fruit-forward, tropical, but then a little bit of that kind of earthy, dank, resinous character in the background.
Yeah, I love the
5.9%, nice and dry.
Yeah.
Crush a few of them on the patio, and yeah.
Yeah. We like to call those porch pounders.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
is.
absolutely. And then the fourth beer on our flight is kind of a fun experimental series that we do. This is called the Recreational Series. So some of our beer drinking fans out there that have been around the brewery for a number of years remember a series we did called the Dispensary Series,
Okay.
which was a lot of fun and ultimately kind of helped create what the framework for the Recreational Series is. But we do distribute a little bit of beer outside of the state, up in Colorado, and when you distribute in Texas, you don't have to get federal label approvals for
Okay.
your products, but as soon as you send it across state lines, the feds have to approve that, and that process is called a COLA, Certificate of Label Approval.
Okay.
The name dispensary was not cutting the muster with the feds for some reason.
Oh,
they
weird.
viewed it as a
Yeah.
therapeutic claim of
Right.
sorts. So,
Yeah.
so we kept.
Despite the fact that Hops and Grain has the trademark for
Yeah.
dispensary in the alcoholic beverage.
Really?
Yeah, so we own the
Wow.
trademark in the beer category.
You're like a real business person.
Well, that one was special. I joked with my parents that was really making it.
And we're really bad about that.
Well, it is. Yeah, a lot of people are really bad about
Yeah.
it, and we have been and learned our lesson in a few
Yeah.
capacities. So, but yeah, that was a really frustrating process. I battled back and forth with the TTB, hoping that they would acquiesce, and it just never happened. So
Yeah.
we just renamed it to Recreational Series, kept the branding the same, everything, submitted that for COLA, and it got approved immediately. So
Nice.
the spirit of this series
That's
is really
exciting.
showcasing, our passion for hops and especially new
Yeah.
experimental varieties, and showcasing the farmers and breeding programs that make those. This one came out of a breeding program through our friends at Hopsteiner,
Okay.
and it's a new hop variety called Lotus. One of the fun things about beer, as I think anyone that's been around beer is the naming process.
Right.
You can go a lot of different directions. We utilize Slack here at the brewery a lot for kind of communication amongst
Yeah.
the team, and so we crowdsourced a name around this new hop variety
Nice.
called Lotus,
Yeah.
and the resounding favorite was the Devil's Lotus. So that's the name of this recreational
Yeah.
series beer we're drinking.
Perfect.
The style is an IPL, so India Pale Lager.
Okay.
Biggest difference between an IPA is just a colder fermentation with a lager yeast instead of ale yeast. So
Okay.
it'll be a little more full-bodied than your traditional kind of dry IPA. Super clean, and then really showcases that Lotus hop, which is packed full of orange Julius and pineapple.
And I can smell
it's
the
a
citrus
really-
and taste like, it's really
yeah,
great.
really wild hop. So we're super excited about that one. Feedback in the tasting room thus far has been really fun, both on the name and the beer itself. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. We use Slack for my business too, but we just use it for bullshit.
Well, we have a bullshit channel.
We have
okay,
we have
you do?
a number
Yeah.
of there's
Well, for
plenty of
whatever
bullshit
reason,
on there
the
for
bullshit
sure.
always
but-
seeps into the business, and I'm like, I don't want to see this dick pic that somebody sent you. I mean, I do want to see it, but for just a minute, let's talk about business, and then show it to me later, please. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the brewery itself, and you guys are really great about sustainability, and let's talk, about how did the brewery get started, and, how did all this greatness happen?
Well, regarding sustainability, we just moved off the beers. River Beer, we do donate 2% of sales to charities that clean our waterways.
Okay.
So right now it's been the San Marcos River Foundation. We're about to open our second location in the very, very near future. So stay tuned for that. But it's been fun for us to do that. We've also expanded, in partnering with Berkeley Labs to recapture CO2. We've founded some partnership with a local, I say local, but they're out of Colorado, maltster, Proximity Malt, that offers the bags of grain are also recyclable, whereas previous maltsters don't offer that. So that's helped us get closer to a zero waste goal. We also repurpose some of our spent grain to make all natural dog treats. We donate most of the grain to area farmers for free, but when we can, we make some dog treats to share with our little fur
that's
friends.
awesome. I like that.
There's also some repurposing of hot water, so getting an extra cycle out of that water to clean tanks. As employees, we are offered a sustainability bonus, which is pretty rad. So what that is if we carpool to work with 3 or more employees, if we ride our bike, walk, take the metro, etc., we get the price of premium gas that it was when we opened back in 2011.
Nice.
Which, if you remember, was a little over $4 a gallon. So we just say, hey, Josh, rode my bike 10 days in the month of February, and we'll get a $40 stipend on our check. So, it's also fun, to kind of tease employees that we know live within a 5-mile radius who drive their vehicles. We're like, hey, man.
What the hell?
What are you doing right now? Yeah.
So that's a few of the ways that we do it. We also produce 100% of our energy from wind farms here in Texas. So there's no wind farms on top of our buildings, but we do source it from there. A little bit of the upfront cost, but again, that longevity of taking care of Mother Earth.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
All the things.
Yeah, all of it. You guys are literally doing all of them, which is great.
When a little just on history, we are. It's kind of fun to jokingly say this with some of my peers, but we're kind of an old brewery in Austin. Life cycles.
Yeah.
You've got the OGs like Real Ale out in Blanco, Live Oak, who's been here for a good number of years, couple of decades now.
Yeah.
We opened in 2011.
Okay.
We were there were less than single digits of breweries in 2011 when we opened.
Yeah.
Tap rooms weren't legal. Your options were do a brew pub, which you couldn't distribute beer out of a brew pub. You had to have a kitchen and sell it all on site, or the distribution angle, which is the route that we took. So opened our doors here in East Austin in 2011. It was much different in East Austin 8 years ago than it is now. Some good, some bad, but all in all, I think the robustness of the neighborhood has definitely not died. The diversity is still here, which we're really excited to be in the middle of. I've been here for 15 years now, moved here from Boulder, and have lived in East Austin, I think 95% of that entire time. And I love the neighborhood. I love the small business environment that's over here and the community that's around it. And so in looking for a location, my vision was always to have a brewery in the middle of a neighborhood. And, zoning laws are going to, for the most part, push you out to the industrial districts for alcohol manufacturing, but we were able to stumble upon an incredible building that had the proper zoning that was a mile from downtown, which is, now the price per square foot for properties in that vicinity are astronomical. So if we hadn't have opened when we did, there's no way we could afford being where we are right now. So that's been fun to be in the middle of. But we're buried at the very end of 6th Street, which is kind of fun. From a marketing standpoint, we used to...
Is it fun?
It was hard for a long time.
Yeah.
Because you assume end of 6th Street means a long, long way, but it ends fairly quickly once you go, underneath I-35 heading east.
2.1 miles to 35 interstate from our brewery.
Yeah.
But it's such a, it's so accessible now. But at the time people were like, ooh, no, that's way too far.
My daughter wanted to come to a concert a couple of weeks ago, so I brought her, and I went to UT.
Okay. But
I was like, it's not at all like it was in 1998. At all.
Yeah.
Like, I could park for free underneath this bridge here on the highway, and there was like a guy in a chicken suit playing the guitar right here, and it was like totally different. Not like, things have changed so much, but it's still amazing. But the evolution is really fascinating of Austin.
Yeah, and there's a lot of neat businesses that have opened over here with folks that have lived here in the community for a while. That really found, a cool opportunity to open something that would impact the community in a nice, positive way. Yeah. Give neighbors a place to walk to, have dinner, have drinks. And that's really the approach that we've tried to take. So not only from the environmental stewardship side, because we believe, we only get one of these planets, and, Mother Nature always bats last. So we want to make sure that, we're taking care of what we got. And so, for us, that was always just kind of a given. Our neighborhood is impacted by us from a wastewater standpoint. Our electrical draw, water draw, all those things impact the neighborhood. And so being a good neighbor is important both to the planet and to, our immediate neighbors here. So we involve ourselves really heavily in East Austin and in the charities that are working to, to really expand opportunity for East Austin residents, as well as just showcasing, the incredible diversity that's over here. So we like to be in the middle of that. Sheila's done an incredible job forging partnerships through a bunch of the different charities, organizations, and just neighbors that come in the tap room all the time. So we're super proud of that, proud of the staff that we have, which, we encourage them to ride a bike because it's better for the planet, or take the bus. But it also, I find at least, you tend to show up at work a little more alert and ready to get to work when you're not just rolling out of your car. Right, exactly. Or you show up and you're not just like angry because you've been sitting in Austin traffic for, So we've got a cool team here, a cool space, and we're really excited about our San Marcos brewery that's
Nice.
about to open up.
And Sheila, you've been here for
3.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so I came in right when we were 3.5 years old.
Okay.
At the time, I was physically employed 8 or 9, and we are now at 20. So
Amazing.
it's pretty awesome to see, as we've grown as a company, as I've grown within the company, everyone else has also stepped up. So, and we have a director of hospitality now that's going to be managing both tap rooms. We have a, full production manager team that is in charge of the brew house, the cellar, the packaging, and then a number of people underneath them. So it's definitely been an entertaining time, and let's see what 2019 brings.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Do you guys have big plans for? Do you have big plans for the new year, like what, or for 2019 and into 2020?
Absolutely, yeah. We always try to approach, or at least the first 5 years we opened, we were just trying to keep up.
Right.
Every year was just like, can we get more equipment to make more beer because we can't make enough. We still, obviously are always running into issues of capacity, mainly just due to our Austin location. Is we have no more space here. So 2019 is going to be the first year that we've been able to actually grow and operate with extra capacity. That we're not worried necessarily about immediately filling, but we have it there, to grow in ways that we've had to say no to a lot of new markets, and now we actually have the ability to, if we want to, and it makes sense, and it we feel like will be a relevant fit, then we can move forward with that. So that's a big thing, is just getting this brewery fully operational.
Right.
We just got our certificate of occupancy, so we'll be firing up the brew house in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Opening our tasting room, at least soft opening, in the middle of March 18th, and then we'll have our big grand opening party will be on April 20th. So we've got a little bit of time to, completely
finalize. Do you want to
finalize
tell people
it.
where it's going to be, or do you want to keep that?
Yeah, no,
okay.
absolutely. We're right off of the square. So 110 East MLK is the address. Literally 2 blocks from the square in San Marcos. So we're right in the heart of the city.
It's really exciting.
So we're looking forward to, I know over half of our staff that currently lives in New Braunfels, San Marcos, Utah, is very excited to not commute into Austin. But the city has also been incredibly supportive and welcoming. So we're pumped to get that open.
Right.
So that's priority one. I have a lot of goals and plans that I really want to see us achieve, but I like to load myself up with all the goals and then give our team bite-sized chunks to make sure that we make it happen. But we just, as a side note, kind of funny, Sheila glossed over it very quickly, but when she came on board, she came in at an incredibly pivotal time for us because, one, I was still running all of our social media, which any other business owners out there who run your own social media, I bless you for doing it. I was not. I was way too emotionally connected to everything going on.
Every comment?
To really, really do that effectively. So,
my business is with my brother and my sister-in-law and then our friend. And anytime anybody writes anything negative, it's just like all day. Just one comment.
Oh, yeah. It'll ruin your entire day.
It's all day. We're just going back and forth. Fuck this guy. Right. Yeah, fuck this guy. Did you respond? No, we should respond. Yeah. Oh, I want to respond so bad. And we never do, but you just want to so bad.
Yeah. Well, back then I did not have that filter of like, no, don't hit send. Don't hit tweet. Don't hit reply. So Sheila came in and really brought together our story and told it to a broader audience in a way that was accurate, concise, relevant, and exciting in ways that I was way too focused on too many individual things, and then getting my feelings hurt by every negative comment. So that's been great, and where we've grown to, as a brand and a storyteller is, I think, what I'm the most excited about our company. We make beer and we make it really well, and we're focused on quality. We have a state-of-the-art quality control lab. Our staff is trained well, they're accomplished, we reward them, and we invite them to provide feedback. So our product is always pushing what we believe is the highest quality we can, but the way we tell the story about our company is ultimately what gets people in. You drink beer first with your eyes if you're at the store, or if your friends say, hey, let's go to a brewery, you try it there. The liquid is what gets you to come back to it, but the story is what makes you feel good about drinking it. And that's really, I think, what we're trying to tie in is you need to feel good about drinking our beer because we're working really hard to be better citizens and better stewards of the environment. And so telling that story is what differentiates us, and Sheila's done a really rad job with that. So that's a lot of what I think you'll see.
I'm patting my back. Y'all can't see it. I'm patting my back.
Good. Looks good on you.
Thank you.
2019 will be a lot more storytelling and a lot more depth of our company and showcasing our staff and showing people a little bit more behind the scenes of what Hops and Grain is.
Awesome. That's super exciting. This is your beer. The beer is delicious. Everybody knows that. I mean,
well, thank you.
know.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
But to hear the story is also awesome, and you guys had to come. And the best part of breweries to me is getting to know the people,
Absolutely.
because that's what brings you back. So come and get to know them, and then let's get to know Hudson a little bit.
Yeah.
How are you?
Excellent.
Yeah, I like how laid back you are. Yeah,
Well,
you're just here.
Still early.
Yeah, it is a little.
I did it like midnight
You
last night.
obviously don't have kids. So it's not early for me. I've been
He
up since like
is
4.
a musician.
Yeah.
You know, they live different
Different time
hours.
frame.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. But you did get here on time, which I have to say doesn't usually happen. Good musicians.
I'm working on that.
Yeah, you did a good job. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
He's here.
Yeah, this guy's
Hence
ready to go.
why he's had a residency with us for over a year now.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
a responsible musician. I like it. So tell us about Willow Speak and how you got started.
Sure. So the concept behind Willow Speak, which is sort of ever evolving as most things are, came from this one song that I was writing while I was going to college, and I was going through writer's block, kind of struggling to come up with my own material to come up with, to write about.
Yeah.
And I'd always wanted to write a story, so the song just kind of came out of nowhere. I think with that in the back of my head, so I wrote a song, and it was the first song that I felt really proud of, and I was like excited to show people. And then I kept coming back to this idea of wanting to expand on this like sort of isolated story that came out of that. So that's kind of the whole project of Willow Speak is eventually going to be a few albums all tied together with this story.
Nice.
So I'm not entirely sure what it's going to look like. Could be a few EPs that come hand in hand with a short story that you can read.
Okay.
Background music.
I like this.
But yeah, once
Yeah.
again, and I would love to collaborate with other, artists or something that have some sort of
Right.
multimedia project. So it's kind of more than that with the solo project that I've done.
Okay.
And when I'm playing live, I use something called live looping, which is using
Yeah, the box, right? Yeah.
using like a guitar pedal to record yourself instantly,
Yeah.
and then create layers on top of that.
Yeah.
To what I use is I'll usually end up setting up some sort of percussion initially, and then layering like a rhythm guitar part, and you can throw lead guitar parts. So I like to use a lot of like ambient sounds.
Yeah.
And I then the microphone comes up to that, so I can harmonize with myself.
Yeah.
So, and to me, after years of experimenting with something like that, it's initially when you get a looper, you just get excited about hearing something you did and then putting something on top of it.
Yeah.
It becomes this like infinite stack of the same idea.
Yeah.
So something that I like to work towards is making it interesting for the listener as far as the arrangement goes. So really, it's important to like get into that right away, set up your idea, and then expand on it so seamlessly that people don't really hear you kind of working.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of times I'll get asked after a show, they're like, all right, what are you using for those pre-recorded tracks? Or, no, man, I just did that.
Yeah. It's so crazy because I have a friend that does that, and the first time I saw it, I was like, what is this witchcraft? Because he just started like banging on the thing, and then it was just going, and I was like, what is happening right now? This is so weird. But yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's amazing what technology has allowed one person to do.
Yeah. Pretty great.
Yeah.
So you want to play a song for us? Yay! This has a little mic at the end of it, so I'm going to kind of like
Cool.
point it that way.
So this first song I'm going to play is actually a song unrelated to that story I was talking about, but kind of a similar time where I was just like stuck with writing. I think just completely overly critical of everything I was doing.
Yeah.
And I'd probably written like 20 half songs and just abandoned them. So
Yeah.
it's like I committed to the next one. I was like, you got to get through it. No matter if you hate it, doesn't mean you have to play it ever again.
Right.
And it ended up being like one of the quickest writings that I had.
Nice.
So it's called Truth from the Beggar's Mouth. Tambourine. Important
Oh, you
part.
can't forget that.
Of course.
Yeah,
I feel naked without all my looping.
of course.
can rot inside your hole. I will sing to your soul, tell you of all the things that he's seen. If the guilt don't make you dry, you can take it from the fly. He will tell you of all the things that he's seen. 'Cause there ain't nothing that I know, but I know it's you nothing. You're the one bearing yourself on the song. I will sing this song from the ground within the valley. Let it rumble all the earth on till it breaks. Let my feet find the depths of which they are able. Let them turn those places. In this world